Hi, this is video 2 on how to estimate studs. We're going to go through an example. I just want to remind you that to calculate the number of studs needed, what we're going to do is take 3/4, that wall length in feet, and then again add 1 to give us that starting place. Some other things we mentioned in the last video was we need to make some adjustments. So for every corner, we're going to be adding an extra stud. For every interior partition, we're going to be adding an extra stud. For windows, we add 2 extra studs. And doors, we don't need to add any because we kicked those 2 studs that would be there, we kicked them out, and that becomes our support. So here's the example that I'm going to go through. It's kind of sloppily drawn, but we can do this. And I'm going to walk ourselves around the house. We do need to do every single wall piece separately to make any adjustments on strange lengths, because sometimes you're not going to get that exact number of studs needed, so you're going to need to add some up to give the extra support that's going to be needed on that particular wall piece. Whereas if you had added them together, so let's say I took this wall and added them together, those extra pieces wouldn't be needed because it would cancel each other out. So we're going to walk ourselves around this house and actually calculate the exterior walls. So exterior walls. And we're going to be estimating the number of studs needed. Okay, so I'm going to take this 23 feet 7 inches, start here, and we'll just kind of walk ourselves all the way around. So that 23 feet 7 inches, first of all, I need to turn that into just feet. So I'm going to need to take that 7 and divide it by 12 to turn it into the decimal. So I'm going to take that 7 divided by the 12, and so then this becomes my 23.5833 feet. So 7 divided by 12, that's at 0.5833. So now to calculate the number of studs, we take that wall length, which is in feet now, and multiply it by that 3/4 or 0.75, and then we'll add 1. So multiply this. Okay. Multiply that by 0.75, and then we're going to add 1. This turns into 18.68. Now I can't have partial studs. They have to be whole numbers. And we will always round up. So this will round up to 19. Because we want to make sure to have enough studs and we want to have enough strength. I'd rather have my house be stronger than skimp on the number of studs that we would need. Okay, so this takes care of this wall. I'll come back and do my windows and everything at the end and add them all in together. All right, so we're going to go move to this piece, and we're going to take that 3/4 at 0.75 times that wall length. So I'm going to need to take that 4 divided by 12 again. So my 4 divided by 12, that gives me a bunch of 3s. I usually carry about 4 decimals, 3 or 4 decimals, knowing that I'm just going to be rounding up anyway, but I do want to make sure to be somewhat accurate. So we're going to add the 1 on there. So multiply that by that 0.75, add my 1, and we get that we need 40.25, which again I will round up to 41. Moving to the next one, 0.75 times my 26.5 divided by 12, 4167 if I round. Multiply it by the 0.75, add my 1, and I get 20.81, which we would round up to 21. Moving on to the next piece, 0.75 times my 35 point something or other. So 8 divided by 12 gives me 0.6667. And we will then multiply that by my 0.75. Add the 1. We get 27.75, which we always round up to 28. Okay. All right, so we've done this wall. Now we have to go this wall. In order to find that wall, we have to make sure we know how long it is. So we're going to make sure to get this length, we need to add this 26.5. Whoops, I can't see my picture very well. That 23.237. So I'm going to add my inches together. So 7 inches and 5 inches is 12 inches, which happens to be a foot. So adding my 26 plus my 23 plus that extra foot, we get that this is 50 feet even. I'm going to need to do the same for this length here, which is going to be this guy and this guy. So adding my 8 and my 4, again that gives me 12, so another foot. So my 35 plus my 52 plus my 1 gives me that this is 88 feet even. Okay, I did that in this example to make it somewhat nice. Sometimes you'll be given the longer length and one length, and you'll have to kind of subtract to get those pieces. But we can still do these all the way around. So we're going to take 0.75 times that 50, add my 1, we get 38.5, which we will round up to 39. We'll do that 0.75 times 88 plus 1, 0.75 times 88 plus 1 gives me an even 67, so there is no rounding there. One thing you can notice is this guy and this one, these two walls actually created that. And if I went back and added the 28 plus the 41, you'll see I get 69, which is more than the 67 because I needed to make some adjustments on this shape, this length, and this length. I think it turned out that our other two worked out, so the 19 and the 21, I guess it did not, was also 40, so we had to make some adjustments on those shorter pieces. Okay, so we had the studs needed for the walls, but now we need to make some adjustments. And again, adjustments are made for corners, interior partitions, I'm going to kind of abbreviate there, interior partitions, and windows. Okay, so corners. So anytime we had a corner walking around the outside, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 corners. I'm going to just write that down here and I'll move back up. Our interior partitions are anytime a wall came to the outside wall. So I'm going to walk myself the way around. 1, 2, 3. No matter how little it is, it has to count. So 1, 2, 3. These are actually windows, badly drawn. 4, 5, 6. So again, we had 6 interior wall partitions. We have some doors, so we do not need to adjust for those, but my windows, which I do kind of poorly here, so let's put a window here. So this is a window, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have 10 windows. All right, so now corners, we need to add an extra one. Interior partitions, we need to add an extra one. And windows, we need to add 2. So then to create our house, we need to add up all these pieces to get our grand total. So I'm going to go back up here. We started on that first wall, and we had 19 plus our 41 plus our 21 plus 28 plus 39 plus 67 plus 6 plus 6 plus 20. So we need 247 studs are needed for this exterior wall. Sometimes we will add a few extras in just because there's always that time you get one stud that doesn't look that good or isn't that straight or has knots in it or just, isn't up to what you want to put into the house. Also, you can use those studs sometimes for scraps to extra supports that are needed here and there. So there is our exterior studs. Interior studs are a lot easier. We just need to add up all of the lengths, and this is written in the textbook as well as on my Blackboard page. Add up all the interior walls lengths, and we go 1 per foot, and we always round up. The reason we want to do something a little simpler is because if we had to count every corner, we'd get lost, and anytime one wall met another wall, we'd have to add in an extra stud. So there'd be a lot of extra places because I don't have any closets drawn in here or other things that are going on in here. So, but this is an example on your exterior studs. We do need to go every wall piece at a time and then make your adjustments for corners, interior partitions, and windows. Thank you.